What is up guys, Wraec is here with a new video, and today I want to show you a combination that basically allows you to chain infinite ultimate skills in certain game modes where the faction skills are active. For example, that would be Durst Trial, or what we want to show today, Talent Trials. So you can gain extra AFK progress with that. What you need to do this is really not much. You need the faction skill for Lightbearer, level 1 is enough, so that is really not a whole lot. And what you will need is not Fresto, but you will need Rowan. Rowan is actually a pretty cool hero. What he will do is, once he does his active skill or his ultimate skill, he will recover energy for the surrounding heroes. And to make use of that with the faction skill, you can set him in a way that I will show you. You need a Lightbearer faction tile. The way you achieve this is by setting 3 Lightbearer heroes. So whatever 3 Lightbearer heroes you set, you see once I set the third one, this tile activates, and this tile has a very special effect. We can check this out right here. When the Prime Carrier, which is the hero you place on that tile, casts the ultimate, they summon a shadow that casts the ultimate again. This shadow has less stats than your main hero. The intended way is really you cast your ult, and then there's just a shadow that casts the ult again and does a little bit of extra damage, or does just adds basically to the ult of this Prime Carrier. However, if we place Rowan on that tile, things become a little bit more fancy. The way this then works is you place Rowan on the tile. Once Rowan does his ult, the shadow will do his ult, will feed Rowan energy, and Rowan will be able to do his ult again, effectively chaining ults between the shadow and Rowan. The only task for us right now is really to find proper heroes to use with this strategy. One hero, of course, could be Fresto. We could put some DR on that guy, would be pretty fancy. Interestingly enough, those are wrong. I just see that those red tiles are on the wrong places. They should be here. Huh, fancy. Okay. And then, of course, we need 2 more Lightbearer heroes. For that, we have different options. I don't like Merrily for this. I don't like Corrin for this. Vala is pretty alright. It's a pretty good hero, actually, to do exactly that. So I tend to use her, and another one would be Cassidy. Or you just go with Lucius, get yourself a little bit more tankiness. Can also be a very nice choice. So Cassidy, Lucius, Walker for some CC is actually kind of good. Or you go Vala. For this, we will now go with Cassidy, I think, and I kind of want to go with Lucius. A very good thing that you can do, that we won't do against this stage, just because the enemies are kind of all ranged, you can supercharge Smokey with this. If you know the strategy, Smokey, once he does 3 ults, he will activate his blue smoke, and this one does a ton of damage and was used in the last season to clear basically everything. Absolute madness. And in this season, you can do the same. You can just supercharge Smokey basically. So this is definitely a way to do this. In this situation, we will probably just go for Hewen, just get ourselves a little bit of heal, and we need 1 more hero for our faction tile. It's also okay to use Temesia actually, kind of good as well. Let's just use Lucius on this one. Of course, we are rather tanky now. Let's see how it works out. We just want to spam some ults now. Damage is a bit limited now on the team that we set up here. Should still be possible to clear this, just because we have super insane recovery. If we have enough damage, that is another question, of course. But you can see there is the energy from Rowan. Bam, already there. And it basically continues all the way. Every time you see those yellow energy numbers, that is an ult from Rowan. And you see them all the way through there. You can see how insane our Cassidy already pushed the enemies to the end of the wall. You could use a Sorin now to actually stun them permanently at that wall, which is pretty crazy. You rarely see that. It's just one ult after the other. And of course, with the Cassidy ults, we see them very easily, because those are the big waves. 3 kills already there. Next Cassidy ult already. And we also see Fresto ults one after the other. No hero dead yet. And energy all the way, all day. Stunned again. You see the undercurrent hitting Temesia again. And all the way through, we see the energy. And this is really an insane ability. And just with this, we basically just cleared the stage. with heroes that you would probably not expect there. Cassidy doing a ton of damage. Okay, Fresto, of course, is always great. We can't see the energy recovery here, sadly, in this set. But it is an insane combination, and you can do different things with it. And I want to point out some heroes that I think are very interesting to use with it. Of course, we saw Heaven, great for some energy. Great for some recovery, great to make your entire team tanky. Is of course a very nice hero for that. You can go with Carolina, feed her as a damage dealer. That is a very nice thing to do. And we already talked about the Smokey combination. If you wonder about Smokey, if you have no idea how he works, we have a video on him, and I made a video. Should be fairly interesting. I like the idea of Florabelle. Every time Florabelle does her ult, we get Spiny, and Spiny does this, has this huge flower that he slams on the ground and stuns all enemies. So you can combine with that. You can also add some heroes like Ulmus and Iron to the team on top of like 3 Lightbearer heroes, and just go for a little bit more of a CC style team. And for that we also have multiple Lightbearers that are interesting. We saw Cassidy, which I think is super strong, especially if you have a +10 where you get the undercurrent. I've also a video on her on my channel. Vala in general is just a great damage dealer. Temesia, a great tank. Lucius provides shields and reduces the damage of the enemy, so this is also a very nice option just to add a tank to your team. Maybe you don't have Fresto, don't want Fresto on your team, you can just add Lucius, that's alright. And I also like the idea of Mirael. She's a bit squishy, doesn't provide too much, but if we look into her ult, there is 600% damage with a giant flame wall, which kind of has its perk, I kind of like it. So not a bad choice at all. Last one, maybe a bit of an astonishing choice. Walker is kind of alright. If you have infinite ults, he has stun in there, just for 1.5 seconds. But if you get like the ult all the time and every few seconds, basically, that's not too bad. It's not too bad. That's some very nice stun actually. Regarding the game modes where we can use it, I mean, the most prominent one we just saw, that is Talent Trials, of course. There is also the option to use this in Duros Trial. I'm not sure which of those challenges have it actually at the moment. We can just enter one. And you can see we don't have the requirements for Wilder at the moment. Still, there is a Wilder faction tile, and that is just for this challenge. This challenge just has a Wilder faction tile, no matter which heroes you set, and it varies from challenge to challenge actually. So there might be other ones in here, and of course you can get the Lightbearer one, which means then you already have the opportunity to put a Rowan on your team, and then maybe add just any other heroes you want, and you have infinite energy, just plug and play basically for your team, which is insane. So one thing you definitely have to take away from this video is to be aware of this strategy, and to use it whenever you see fit and whenever you get the opportunity and may want to get some advantage from it. You can also use this in Supreme Arena. I'm not sure about Rowan there. Maybe I can find a nice team for that. And most definitely it's pretty cool in Legend Trial. I mean, we saw Cassidy, you can use her there. We saw Walker, you can use him there. Lucius, you can use him there. And you can build a nice team from that. Maybe we just try that, because it's a nice thing to do towards the end of the video. We're at level 21 here. It's only level 1 skill. You don't really get too much of an advantage, by the way, from upgrading that. It's a bit sad. But the entire skill tree plays around you putting a damage dealing hero on that tile, which if you don't do that, yeah, it's a little bit weird. It's just not the way the game intended this to be. So we have Lucius, we have Vala, we use Cassidy there, and I think we'll just see what happens and what we can do with this, and how the energy recovery looks like on this season Tower of Light. Again, we just have to wait for the first ult. The first ult is up, energy recovery starting, and he's in a very nice position actually for us to watch this. You can see there is the energy of the main one going up again, and it's just back-to-back ults, back-to-back there. We see Cassidy ults at the same time as Vala ults, and basically we're destroying everything. So it's a pretty cool combination. Is it like super OP? No, but it's nice. It's certainly nice. And one very interesting thing that I want to see some use, and it's also always the time when I really regret or don't like that those skills are not in arena. In regular arena would be such a nice place to build teams around that right now, but they are not in there, so we have to live with that. That being said, I hope you enjoyed this. Maybe you've used it already. Definitely tell me down in the comments. And with that, I wish you a great day. We'll see us in the next one.